Channel 11 News starts with severe weather Team 11 coverage.
Look at this. A giant tree came crashing down in Shaler, landing on the roof of a home and, gosh, cutting the house in half. Strong winds are causing damage all across the Pittsburgh area. Just look at how big this tree is that uprooted. This was in a yard in Scott Township. Thank you so much for being with us here on this Friday afternoon. I'm Jennifer Tomazik. The wind is so strong, it's actually causing problems with the 911 system in Allegheny County. So we want to let you know they are having some intermittent interruptions. So if you try to call 911 in Allegheny County and you can't get through, look at your screen here. You have to call this number instead, 412-473-3056 if 911 does not connect for you. Now, we have been seeing wind damage reports since early this morning. Meteorologist Scott Harbaugh has been going over them for quite some time now. So how strong are those gusts, Scott? When are they going to be done?
Oh, we're starting to ease them up just a little bit, but boy, they topped out at 55 to 60 miles per hour. West Mifflin, north side of Pittsburgh in the Manchester section of the city. Even Pittsburgh International saw a wind gust near 50 miles per hour. So this was widespread across the area this morning. Current wind gusts, most of them now between 30 and 40 miles per hour. Still a couple topping that 40-mile-per-hour mark, and they will continue to ease up during the course of the afternoon. Right now, live look at Tower Cam. Wanted to show you that shake. Temperatures down to 54 degrees. Camera shaking with that live look into Pittsburgh. Sustained wind right now west at 21 miles per hour. And the gusts will calm down this afternoon. By the time we get to 5 o'clock this evening, wind gusts only about 17 miles per hour. That's going to change things for the weekend. I'm updating Storm Tracker for the weekend, pinpointing the best times to get outside. I'll have that for you coming up this half hour.
All right, Scott, thanks so much. So now to that damage. And just look at this mess that was left behind after a tree crashed onto a house in Shaler Township. You see more tree than house, really, in that picture. Channel 11's Michelle Chavez pulled up to Belladonna Drive right after this happened and talked to the family. She joins us live this afternoon. How are they doing, Michelle?
Well, I'm going to step out of the way, first of all, so you can take a good look at this tree. It completely uprooted. It fell on this house, and the family that was inside tells me they were just shaken by what happened. The family says they were already awake this morning, getting ready for the day ahead when they started to hear some creaking. Now, that sound got louder and louder, and then a tree suddenly crashed down onto the house and through the roof. Erica Schottenbrand told me her biggest concern at that moment was her son.
I screamed his name, and when I heard his voice and I knew he was okay, everything else, just get out of the house. We have to get out.
Tell me they tried to get out, but the front door was completely blocked. Eventually, they made it out safely through the garage, and now crews are getting ready to cut down a lot of these branches for this family. And tonight at 5, we'll tell you about the child that was living inside of the home and made it out and had a quick reaction. We'll share that reaction with you tonight at 5. For now, reporting live in Glenshaw, Michelle Chavez, Channel 11 News.
Wow, that is just incredible. I'm so glad that family is okay this afternoon, Michelle. And we do have some more damage to show you here. This is in Oakland. Look at that. You can see wind knocked a street light over, slammed right down in the middle of Robinson Street. Looks like onto the back of a car, not too far from Trees Hall on Pitt's campus. And then a driver couldn't stop in time after a tree came down on Banksville Road. So you can see a lot of damage to the front of this car. We got there right as that SUV was being towed away. Well, now we're trying to find out how the driver was doing in this instance in Beachview. And we have seen quite a few power outages today because of the wind as well. Channel 11's Jillian Hartman has learned that a personal care home and an entire school district are without power. She continues our live Team 11 coverage this afternoon. Jillian.
That's right. Well, I can tell you right now we're on 228 in Cranberry Township, where it's been very windy all morning. I'm holding my hat to just make sure it doesn't fly off. But we just learned, like you just said, a personal care home in Lawrence County and a school district in Beaver County are both without power right now. So here's what we know so far. About an hour ago, parents received a text from the Riverside Beaver County School District informing them that the district lost power today. In the text, it says classes will continue and alternative lunches will be served. Phone and email access are down at this time. Now, I just reached out to the district, but I'm still waiting for a response back. Over in Lawrence County, I spoke with an administrator over at the Lawrence County Association for Responsible Care. I spoke with her on the phone. She said all their power went out shortly after 7:30 this morning. Right now they have 20 individuals with disabilities living in the care home. She said a downed tree nearby knocked over some power lines, causing the outage, and they expect it will be a while until the power is restored, but the outage is already causing a lot of problems over at the personal care home.
Some of the problems we're finding, we have emergency lights and an emergency generator, but it only lights certain areas of the building. Some of our bathrooms are obviously going to be not lit very well right now. We can't use our ovens and our stoves, so it affects how, we're able to feed all the individuals today.
Now, I'm told the personal care home does have enough emergency food and water on hand, but she tells me that it may be difficult if this outage continues for too long. We will be continuing to check in with the personal care home and the school district over in Beaver County, and I'll have an update for you tonight at 5. Reporting live in Cranberry Township, I'm Jillian Hartman, Channel 11 News.
All right, and just checking here, I know that Lawrence County was one of the counties where we saw a lot of power outages. Just checking in with West Penn Power in front of me here. Looks like they are down to about 2,000, but at one point there were 10,000 power outages just in Lawrence County. So Jillian will stay on top of that for us. Want to let you know that a woman had to actually be rescued today after her kayak capsized in Washington County, and it was because of some of the winds here. So our news partners at WJPA Radio shared these pictures here with us, and what you can see off to the distance is a rescue at Peters Township Lake this morning. So the strong wind apparently was an issue for rescuers as they were out there. What unfolded was a witness says she saw a life jacket in the water about 7:30 this morning, and then she saw a woman clinging to a kayak yelling for help. Peters Township Fire Chief told WJPA that the woman's life vest came off when that kayak flipped. She did go to the hospital, and now we're trying to find out how she is doing. Hopefully she's okay this afternoon. Also, some major breaking news on the COVID front. Another big jump in cases in Allegheny County. In fact, we are just shy of 600 new cases. The health department says it has learned of 586 new cases since yesterday. That is the highest daily case count since January 13th. Health officials are also reporting 9 additional deaths after updating the county system with the states. Governor Tom Wolf is saying that the vaccination phases, the 1A, the 1B, the 1C, those could be thrown out soon. He says the Johnson & Johnson vaccine really was a game changer for the state. It allowed them to vaccinate teachers while ramping up shots with the other 2 vaccines for other people in phase 1A. So here's why the phases might be going away.
The president has now said, May 1st, that everybody should be eligible, which sort of throws out the old 1A, 1B, 1C thing, and I think he's right. The goal should be to get to that point as quickly as possible so that it's open to everybody.
So we will keep you posted on any changes with that. Governor Wolf says that Pennsylvania is on track to have all teachers vaccinated by next week. And then after that, the plan is to give the Johnson & Johnson vaccine to frontline workers like police officers and grocery store workers. President Joe Biden is doubling down on his original goal on vaccines, saying 200 million doses will be given by the end of his first 100 days in office. Initially, his goal was 100 million doses before his first 100 days, but he actually met that on the 60th day. Now, this comes amid new research on how safe and effective the vaccines are. Reed Binion reports.
We will, by my 100th day in office, have administered 200 million shots in people's arms.
President Joe Biden announcing a new goal for COVID-19 vaccinations.
I know it's ambitious, twice our original goal, but no other country in the world has even come close. Not even close.
Biden announcing the new benchmark after his administration achieved its initial goal of 100 million vaccinations last week, 42 days ahead of schedule. It comes amid new data regarding vaccine safety and efficacy. A new study on the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines indicates they provide protection for those who are pregnant and lactating, and they can pass antibodies to their newborns. There was also no indication of more side effects or more intense side effects in those who are pregnant and lactating than in the general population. The fight against COVID-19 has merged with another challenge for the Biden administration, this one at the U.S. southern border. Federal officials say more than 500 migrant children are in isolation after testing positive for COVID-19. That's about 4.4% of the children currently in custody. None have required hospitalization. I'm Reed Binion reporting.
Pittsburgh police are investigating 2 shootings from last night, including a deadly shooting in Homewood. The medical examiner has already, identified the victim. It is 30-year-old Michael Lyons. Police got calls last night about a shooting near Frankstown Road, and they say they found Lyons dead. And a second victim, who's a juvenile, was hit in the thigh. Police say 4 witnesses were taken to police headquarters for questioning. And over in East Liberty, police responded to another shooting. They got an alert around 11:30 last night. They say they found a man in a car on Broad Street, not too far from the Target. He was shot, they say, and in stable condition. So far, we haven't heard about any arrests. The storm system causing the strong winds in around Pittsburgh right now spawned tornadoes in Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia. At least 5 people were killed. And just take a look. You can see this damage is so widespread, and you can literally see into people's homes because a lot of them had their roofs torn off, and so many people don't have power down there right now, kind of like us up here. Highways and schools are closed in some of the hardest hit areas. NBC's Carrie Sanders reports from Pelham, Alabama. That's just south of Birmingham.
Overnight, more tornadoes touching down across the southeast, leaving behind a twisted path of destruction through multiple states, including Georgia. In Alabama, the outbreak deadly.
This is a violent tornado. Debris falling.
At least 5 people killed after more than 16 unconfirmed tornadoes hopscotched through the state. At least 1 long track twister stayed on the ground for more than 20 miles. South of Birmingham and hard-hit Pelham, officials urged people who had come out to examine the damage in their neighborhood to get back in basements as quickly as possible.
There is another round of storms coming. Take shelter.
Some waiting it out in a local middle school turned evacuation center. Ginger Sims didn't comprehend what was happening until it was actually happening.
Everything started shaking and rattling. I went run into the bathtub, covered myself up, and then it just passed over. It came as quickly as, it left.
For those in the direct path, the damage devastating. Dreams destroyed. Old trees toppled. 74-year-old James Dunaway was lying in his second-floor bed when the tornado took direct aim.
I ignored the warning. I shouldn't have. I'm lucky to be here.
Across the street, his neighbor Trish Partridge hid downstairs with her husband.
You got in there
in a closet. In a closet.
You got in the closet
and put mixing bowls on her head. Metal mixing bowls, yeah.
Sad for what she lost, but also grateful to be alive.
The owner of this home here, James Dunaway, says since 1982, he has been hit now by 3 tornadoes. He will not, he says, rebuild again. Carrie Sanders, NBC News, Pelham, Alabama.
Now, the wind will be heading out here, but showers and potential thunderstorms this weekend. I'm tracking the best times to get outside.
Easter is 9 days away, and a lot of people are planning to get together with their friends or family. What doctors want you to know to have a safe holiday.
0 proactive effort at all.
He went nearly a year without getting a sewage bill, or so he thought. The error that has him on the hook for hundreds of dollars in late fees.
Going through all the bills month by month backwards, I saw late fee after late fee tacked on and a late charge and a service fee.
He's paying late fees for bills that he never got, all because of a technical error. Channel 11's Liz Gomer talked to him about his trouble with Jordan Tax Services. They're the ones collecting his sewer bill, and Liz found out that he's not the only customer with problems.
Yeah, it's a big problem.
Every month, Mike Frank of Ross Township would get his paperless sewer bill emailed to him and pay it to Jordan Tax Services, the collection company, which many local municipalities hire for anything from real estate taxes to utilities. But last summer, after June of 2020, Mike's sewer bills stopped coming. And having just welcomed a baby and facing life's typical distractions, he didn't realize right away. Not until recently.
And a lightning bolt hit me all of a sudden, and I realized I didn't pay my sewage bill. So I logged into the site and noticed I had a bill for nearly $600 on there. And going through all the bills month by month backwards, I saw late fee after late fee tacked on and a late charge.
All for bills he never got. And so he called Jordan Tax Services. Mike says a supervisor was totally aware of the problem and told him that customers with his email domain, iCloud, and 2 others have not been consistently getting their paperless bills.
So I said, okay, what are you guys doing about that? He said, well, we're handling it on a case-by-case basis as people call in, and I get their emails and send it over to the third party, and the third party then unblacklists them, and then that customer is dealt with.
So no proactive effort to notify these individuals?
Zero proactive effort at all.
I went on the Jordan Tax Services website and couldn't find anything posted about this. I sent an email and called the company. I'm getting a voicemail. Eventually, I received an emailed response, the company claiming no complete domains have been blocked and that this is an issue impacting a, quote, small percentage of customers based on customers' internet service providers. The company claims it's trying to resolve issues and notify customers while noting, quote, the online portal is always available to log in, view, and pay the bill. The statement reads, in some cases, waiving a late fee may be appropriate, but Mike says he was refused a refund. He wishes he had the option to use another company moving forward.
These companies have the contract with the township, so consumers don't get any choice in the matter. You're stuck with using them.
With that said, I reached out to the Ross Township commissioners today. The president, Dan DeMarco, told me that he actually hasn't heard of this particular issue, but he gets a ton of complaints from residents who opt to get paper bills in the mail. Apparently, they're often late. DeMarco said he is extremely dissatisfied with Jordan Tax and is considering alternatives. Back to you.
Liz, thank you so much. A woman has filed a lawsuit against Panera claiming that she was discriminated against and fired because she's a pagan. Tammy McCoy worked as a baker at the Panera on Clareton Boulevard, and according to the lawsuit, she was harassed for practicing neo-paganism. The lawsuit alleges that her manager brought it up out of nowhere, told her she was going to hell, and then cut her hours until she, quote, found God. McCoy claims that she was later fired. Our partners at the Trib left a message for Panera's corporate office, and they are waiting to hear back.
Your severe weather Team 11 forecast.
Now, tower cam has been shaken since about 5:30 this morning, live into downtown Pittsburgh right now. Clouds are taking over. They've been taking over the last hour. Sustained wind west at 21 miles per hour, so it's flat out breezy even without the gusts. But you get those gusts, that uneven heating of the Earth's surface that happens, so occasionally you'll get something that goes up to 35, 40, 45 miles per hour. Fortunately, those gusts don't last very long. Current temperatures, we have definitely cooled off. We were 62 when I came into work this morning, down to 54. Notice the cool pool of air to the northwest. That's because behind this cold front, the cloud cover is filled back in, and we're going to see a fairly cloudy afternoon with a couple of sprinkles. Weather in a word, no doubt windy. It started getting windy about 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. It peaked out this morning about 9 o'clock. Here's the good news. These are the current wind gusts, and I wanted to back this out into Ohio to show you how we're dropping these off. 49 miles per hour in DuBois, 46 in Somerset, 33 in Pittsburgh, 30 in Akron, 21 in Mansfield. So this will ease up as we go through the afternoon. And by this evening, as you can tell with our wind gust forecast, there won't be much wind at all. 5 p.m. as Chief Meteorologist Stephen Cropper is taking the air, winds will be down to about 22 miles per hour in Pittsburgh as far as the gusts, and they'll ease even more tonight, especially after sunset by 9 o'clock. Gusts to 10, 11 miles per hour. Most areas will just have a 5 to 10 mile per hour wind. So dry this afternoon for the most part to get the kids outside, but it is windy. It is a little chilly. Make sure they have a light jacket or a windbreaker. 45 overnight tonight with decreasing clouds and a fantastic day tomorrow. Partly sunny and 69 degrees. Tomorrow is easily the pick day of the weekend. Sunday could start with a couple thunderstorms at 6 in the morning, especially southeast of Pittsburgh. Notice the areas of orange and red popping up, so don't be surprised if there is a rude early morning wake-up call. That line heads through, and then we'll give them another round of showers during the midday hours. Again, thunderstorm possible in a spot or two. Heads out by later in the day. Storm Prediction Center's already put part of our area under the risk for isolated severe weather, mainly southeast of Pittsburgh. And of course, Chief Meteorologist Stephen Cropper will be in tonight, keeping an eye on this, updated timing, updated information on when you'll need to be indoors as you head through the weekend. Your weekend always in view, 69 tomorrow, mostly sunny skies. Cooler Sunday with those off and on showers. And again, thunder is possible. Notice the much cooler air Sunday night all the way down to about 34 degrees. We'll start Monday and Tuesday next week dry. 5-day forecast with your weekend always in view. Partly sunny Monday, 56, so a little on the cool side, then 67 on Tuesday with a good deal of sunshine. Jennifer?
Lovely. Thank you so much, Scott. Easter's 9 days away. What doctors want you to know about having a safe celebration. And a smash and dash at a pizza place for no reason. What happened 2 days ago and also was caught on camera that's just as unusual. Moraine State Park wants to bring back the regatta this year. So many people look forward to it on Lake Arthur, and like most events, the pandemic canceled it last summer. So mark your calendar. The regatta up at Moraine State Park is the 6th through the 8th of August. Organizers are still looking for vendors to sell some handmade items, so maybe if that's you, check that out. Maybe get involved. State leaders are pushing for a higher dog license fee, and they say this will help farmers protect their livestock. Here's how. The Bureau of Dog Law Enforcement investigates attacks on sheep, cows, chickens, and horses. And right now, they say they don't have the money to pay for investigators. If the Bureau cannot raise enough money, it'll be up to farmers to investigate themselves. A troublemaker had a change of heart after vandalizing a pizza shop. Cameras outside of a restaurant captured a group of people walking past the shop 2 weeks ago in Sacramento. Here you see them there. And then you can see one of them actually picks up a sewer grate and then just chucks it at the window. Pretty strange. Gets a little bit stranger here. 2 days ago, someone who was not seen on the video, see him there handing over an envelope and then kind of nodding and walking away. That was for the owner of the pizza shop, and inside was a note apologizing and $2,000.
I mean, they didn't come in and talk to me face to face. I mean, I'd like that. We sit down and have some pizza and we can talk about it, right?
The guy who wrote the letter said that it was a blackout blunder that he didn't even know happened until a friend told him. The owner of the pizza store filed a police report after the original incident, but now that he got an apology, he says he'll probably drop it.
Winds starting to tone down just a bit. I'm tracking where they'll still be gusty through the afternoon.
And if you're planning an Easter celebration, the questions doctors say you should ask yourself and your family before getting together. I want you to take a look. This is just astonishing, even seeing this again. But if this is your first time, look at this giant tree that came crashing down onto a roof in Shaler. It landed right on the house, literally cut it in half there. And these strong winds that we have been seeing this morning, boy, you can see them gusting in this video here. And as we kind of bring the camera down, you'll notice that there was a really big branch that broke off of this giant tree here. And this landed in a yard in Scott Township. And those winds really have been going pretty good all morning long, but they're finally starting to die down a little bit. Meteorologist Scott Harbaugh is in this afternoon. So where we stand right now.
Yeah, Jennifer, you can tell with the colors on the map, you get those richer pink and purple colors. That's where the winds are stronger. You start to get back into the reds and oranges and yellows. wind beginning to ease. 33-mile-per-hour wind gusts right now in Pittsburgh. Washington, Greensburg still topping that 40-mile-per-hour mark. And you can tell by tower cam, it is windy. Clouds have filled in, west wind at 21 with the higher gusts. And as we go through the afternoon, wind will continue to ease a bit. By the time we get to 5 o'clock this afternoon, wind gusts only about 17 miles per hour. So this will quickly come to an end during the course of the afternoon. So if you want to take a little walk this afternoon, still windy right now, but temperatures this afternoon will stay in the 50s. Sun will even start to pop out again later today. Weekend not looking terrible, but there are some hours you're going to want to be inside. I'm updating Storm Tracker right now to pinpoint the best times to get outside this weekend. That's coming up in 15 minutes.
My favorite thing you talk about all week, Scott, is the best day to get out on the weekend. Okay, thanks so much. So Easter Sunday is in 9 days, and that is the day that the state is easing up on COVID restrictions, too. Channel 11's Gabriella DeLuca explains how you celebrate Easter could play a role in a spring surge of COVID.
As we get closer to Easter, families are making decisions about what they're doing for the holiday.
Thank you, Easter Bunny!
We didn't at Thanksgiving, we didn't at Christmas. We probably will not get together with anyone.
Karen Corbley says the risk isn't worth it, as we've seen an increase in COVID cases in our area.
We're not afraid, we're just trying to be safe, and I would never forgive myself if somebody got hurt because of us.
Infectious disease doctor Amesh Adalja told me how you choose to celebrate Easter should be dependent on who in your gathering is vaccinated.
The biggest thing is have as many vaccinated people there as you can. I do think if everybody there is vaccinated, just have Easter as if it's 2019.
But if your family isn't all vaccinated, Dr. Adalja recommends social distancing, wearing masks, and celebrating outdoors.
Try and have as much of this outdoors as possible. And if you can't, open some windows.
And the same goes for attending church services.
If you're a vaccinated person, there's no issue with going to a religious gathering. If you're not vaccinated, just remember to continue to wear a mask. Hopefully the services aren't having any kind of indoor singing because that's one place where you can see transmission occur over large distances.
Victoria Yefimenko is also planning her family celebration and says they'll be attending church online.
Our church actually has online Zoom sessions, so we're probably going to watch that, but nothing in person.
So Dr. Adalja told Gabriella that he expects to see more COVID cases after Easter, but not as many hospitalizations because so many people in the at-risk categories have been vaccinated. A new report found that COVID testing could be very key as students return to the classroom. The Rockefeller Foundation recommends weekly screenings for students and twice weekly for staff. They suggest setting up a testing site at a school, and those cost about $30 a test. Recently, the Health and Human Services Department announced a $10 billion commitment to help schools with testing. Abandoned properties can really be an eyesore, and boy, they can create a lot of problems, and state lawmakers are taking notice. Channel 11's Mike Holden has more on what they want to see done after these old buildings are brought down.
Local and state lawmakers say something needs to be done when it comes to these blighted properties. They came together virtually in an effort to find a solution to this persistent problem that's happening in neighborhoods across the Commonwealth. Abandoned and blighted properties. They're the ongoing focus of the Pennsylvania Senate and House Democrats. Lawmakers held a virtual public hearing and highlighted the staggering number of homes left in a state of disarray. They pointed out how these properties have a detrimental effect on neighborhoods, not only driving down property values, but also creating a dangerous situation for people living nearby. Local and state lawmakers are now working on legislation that would improve blighted and neglected spaces by setting aside necessary funding and bringing in recovery crews. In addition, they highlighted the resources that can make a huge difference for everyone moving forward.
We also don't believe demolition is the end result, is the appropriate result of dealing with blight. We believe that stabilization and warehousing this property for our future growth is critical in our urban cores and some of our core neighborhoods.
So what are you supposed to do if you're living in a community with one blighted property or several others? We're following that part of the story and tracking down the resources available to you for Channel 11 News starting at 5 o'clock tonight. Reporting this afternoon, Mike Holden, Channel 11 News.
Federal judges are banning some Capitol riot suspects from the internet. At least 5 defendants are barred from posting or even going onto social media platforms. A lawyer requested the ban so that his client could get out on bail. So judges have been pretty reluctant, though, to ban anyone from the internet because they say it essentially cuts a person off from modern society. But a judge says that toxic disinformation is becoming increasingly dangerous as a threat, and it is driving domestic terrorism and violence. Questions about migrants at the southern border dominated President Biden's first press conference yesterday. Mexican authorities are reporting more than 31,000 migrants so far this year. It's a figure like the one recorded in 2019, when a spike in crossings prompted former President Trump's strong pressure to stop the flow of migrants. Yesterday, President Biden said the numbers spike every winter, though they're much higher this year.
Rolling back the policies of remain in Mexico, sitting on the edge of the Rio Grande in a muddy circumstance with not enough to eat. I make no apologies for that.
The administration still refuses to even admit there's a crisis, much less address it. We keep hearing strange, mixed messaging from the White House podium like, now's not the time to come, as if there will be a good time to break the law and come illegally.
Looking ahead, President Biden also confirmed during the press conference that he plans a run for a second term with Vice President Kamala Harris. The lockdowns and restrictions, and now road work, another obstacle for businesses on Shadyside's busiest street, how owners are trying to stay positive. But first, when a COVID vaccine clinic just for pregnant women will be opening in Pittsburgh. Welcome back. State officials are not releasing details right now on how many COVID-19 vaccine doses have gone to waste. The news outlet Spotlight PA requested information about how many doses were discarded by each provider. And the state health department actually denied their request. They cited a law from 1955 that gives the state authority to keep information on contagious diseases confidential. Last month, a spokesperson for the health department reported more than 15,000 doses were wasted. That is less than 1%. Most were due to broken vials or syringe issues. News that the Pfizer and the Moderna vaccines are safe for pregnant women has prompted in one of our local hospital systems to create a clinic just for them. UPMC McGee is launching the clinic for moms-to-be who want to get vaccinated. It'll be the first one like it in the region and really one of the first in the country specifically designed for expectant moms. Pregnant women are in phase 1A in Pennsylvania and they can get a vaccine now. And some doctors say really during any trimester of their pregnancy.
They're not causing any increased rate of adverse pregnancy outcomes. They're also not causing increased rates of symptoms among pregnant women.
Make sure, you talk to your doctor about getting the vaccine. And if you want to get one through McGee, you don't already have to be a patient with them. The clinic is next Wednesday. It's at the hospital. And you can call a hotline to set up an appointment. And we have that number for you on the WPXI News app.
Weekend is upon us. I'm using Storm Tracker to pinpoint those times you're going to need to be inside.
First, the lockdowns and restrictions, and now the road work. The growing pains in a Pittsburgh neighborhood creating more stress for business owners. Customers and business owners are frustrated with all of the construction on Walnut Street and Shadyside, and the city just announced some new plans to replace the lights and the utility poles on top of ongoing water main work. So that stretch between South Akeland and Negley Avenue, you know it there. It's where all the shops and the restaurants are. And the owners on Walnut Street tell Channel 11's Serafina James that they are worried that all the construction will be really bad for business.
Walnut Street is getting a $429,000 facelift. According to the city, the commercial corridor between South Aiken Avenue and South Negley Avenue is eliminating overhead wiring and utility poles. The plan is to ultimately install 30 new decorative poles and LED acorn light fixtures and repave the popular Shadyside district.
It's really just like tearing Walnut apart. But it's not that bad. They have to do it.
Cappy's Cafe has a front row seat to the project.
After the pandemic and everything, it's not having a positive impact when springtime's coming because we have sidewalk seating and everything, so that's hurting us a little bit.
The city's project is being done in 5 phases, so not to disrupt parking and businesses.
It is a temporary inconvenience, not fun.
Brenda Mazer, who owns Mazer Galleries, tells me she's been looking at fencing, heavy equipment, seeing dust and dealing with noise for nearly a month. And while the latest project started Wednesday, it's being coordinated with the Pittsburgh Water and Sewer Authority's ongoing work on Walnut.
I think that it is harder for people to get here now, and it's less pleasant to look at, but you know, that's the way it goes.
And while this is all happening, detour signs can be found all around the area. Our traffic expert Tricia Pittman explains how motorists should navigate.
They're going to close one block at a time, starting at South Aiken, head up towards South Nagley, and that means that traffic during that time is going to have to detour over to Ellsworth Avenue. Project goes all the way through April 28th, and again, it's not the entire section that's closed at one time. They're going to be closing portions of Walnut Street.
All in all, the businesses I spoke to say while this isn't ideal, there is a bright side to the lighting project and various other upgrades.
These pipes are ancient, so the good news is once they're done with this, they will not have to be doing this as often, or hopefully not for years.
One thing that we have lacked and have wanted to have is better lighting. I'm excited to see it.
In Shadyside, Serafina James, Channel 11 News.
Your severe weather Team 11 forecast.
Cooler air continues to pour in on the back of these strong winds that have come in this morning. We're down into the 40s now in Beaver, Butler at 52, Greensburg still hanging out at 61. Cool pool there, trying to come down, be some showers. Wouldn't be surprised if there's some grapple that forms with some of these showers this afternoon. That's that soft hail you sometimes get. People think it's sleet because it's usually cooler. We'll see what happens with that this afternoon, but if that does happen, it will be limited. Cloud cover pretty thick right now across the area. We'll see some peaks of sunshine, but really we're not going to clear out until we get to tonight. Here are the current wind gusts, and we continue to ease these. Du Bois now down to 41 miles per hour. Pittsburgh's at 33. Head back towards Mansfield, barely even a 20-mile-per-hour wind gust anymore. Matter of fact, there's no gust in Zanesville anymore. So we'll continue to ease the wind as we go through the afternoon. I think by the time we get to 5 o'clock, we're looking at wind gusts maybe 17 miles per hour, which is not a big deal. Matter of fact, generally anything under 30, I don't even consider a big deal. You get 30 to 40, I call that windy. 40 to 50, I'm like, that's really windy. And then what we had this morning, that's extreme wind for around here at 50 to 60 miles per hour. Today, stray showers, windy still, wind gusts to about 45 miles per hour early this afternoon, then tapering off later today. Tonight, the skies will begin to clear out a little bit. It's not going to go perfectly clear tonight, and it's not going to be completely sunny tomorrow, but it will look pretty good tomorrow. Matter of fact, my pick day of the weekend is Saturday, and it's pretty much a slam dunk. It's an easy pick over Sunday because by the time we get to Sunday, we'll be pulling some rain into the area. Now, still with that, 75% of the weekend is going to be dry, but if you have something you absolutely have to do outside this weekend, Saturday would be the better day than Sunday. Not going to rain all day Sunday, but notice on Storm Tracker, already some showers in the air at 6 a.m., even some thunderstorms, especially from Allegheny County onto the southeast. The first wave moves through in the morning. We'll still keep the scattered showers around, but notice the cloud cover sticks around into the early afternoon. And this is one of those days, Sunday, where you'll get a shower for 15, 20 minutes, then you'll get a break, and then you'll get another shower. It's not going to be a constant thing, but it is going to be a nuisance type thing until later in the day when we begin to kick this out. And then on the backside of this, some colder air will flush in on Sunday night. Could get a couple quick sprinkles Sunday night, but most of the area will stay fairly dry. Some of the storms could be strong southeast of Pittsburgh. Chief Meteorologist Stephen Cropper will have an updated look at the potential for strong thunderstorms over the weekend tonight on Channel 11 News at 5 and 6 p.m. 5-day forecast with your weekend always in view. We'll start with the weekend, 69 tomorrow, 59 on Sunday. Again, showers during the day Sunday. Monday looking pretty good, partly sunny, 56, and then Tuesday, sunshine and 67 degrees.
All right, that won't be too bad. Thanks so much. All right, hey guys, take a look at your screen. Want to see our Hayes-Bald Eagles, see what they're doing here this afternoon? We've been kind of keeping a close eye on the Hayes-Bald Eagles nest, and this is that live webcam from the Audubon Society. My producer says just a few minutes ago the little eaglets were out playing around, but looks like now one of the parents kind of huddling over. You see a little bit of fluff underneath them. I think that's those little eaglets down there keeping them warm. And boy, you can also see the camera swaying still from that wind that Scott was just talking about here this afternoon. So remember, we have 2 eaglets so far. There's still another egg in there, so we'll keep an eye on that. Let you know it's probably going to hatch any day now. All right, now here's local steals and deals. Lisa Robertson.
Wouldn't it be wonderful if you had 5 key people with you every moment of the day? You would never be alone. You would never worry. You would never be afraid. That might not be possible, but I have the next best thing. This is a brand new concept called Invisawear. This is a beautiful necklace. You literally just push the button and it alerts 5 people that you're in trouble and where you are by a GPS location. So think about it. You're walking to your car in a parking lot. You're by yourself. Something's not right. You use your rideshare app. You're in the car. Something's not right. You're going to, you're leaving somewhere, you're walking down the street, you're by yourself at night, something's not right. Maybe it's you, maybe it's your daughter, maybe it's your niece, maybe it's your mom, maybe it's your sister, maybe it's your best friend. Every woman has felt that. This is a brand new concept that I know you're gonna love. Please meet the young lady who actually developed it. This is Raja.
It looks like a beautiful piece of jewelry, and people never believe this, but it's actually got a safety device hidden on the inside. There's a button. If you press it 2 times, it immediately sends a text message to 5 people that you pre-select in the free app. And there's a feature to allow it to optionally contact 911 as well. When you double press it during an emergency, it sends your loved ones a link to your live location so that they can send help. Thank you so much to Local Steals and Deals for having me, and for the audience listening. I'm so thrilled to be able to help keep you safe and to keep your loved ones safe.
Thank you so much, Raja. I think this is one of the most amazing designs. By the way, this keeps you safe with no monthly monitoring fee, which I think is very important. It comes in the gold tone or silver tone, beautifully gift boxed and ready to go. And right now on localsteals.com, it is 28% off. So start making a list of everyone you love and you want to get one for.
Restaurants will be allowed to start seating more people Easter Sunday, and when they do, diners will have one more option. Take a look here. Now hiring at the Eagle Food and Beer Hall. Yeah, they just opened their doors at the 8th and Penn building in downtown Pittsburgh. They told the Trib they were supposed to open last year, but the pandemic delayed it. So if you're interested, it is a specialty comfort food place, and fried chicken, that is their big thing. One of downtown Pittsburgh's most renowned hotels is getting ready to welcome guests again. The Omni William Penn is reopening on April 1st. The hotel shut down at the start of the pandemic way back in March of last year. Good luck to them, and thank you so much for being with us here today on Channel 11 News at noon. Our next newscast is coming up tonight at 5. Have a wonderful Friday.
WPXI is proud to partner with UPMC to present Community Matters.
Treating sleep apnea. That's today's Community Matters topic. And joining me from the UPMC Department of Otolaryngology is Sleep Division Chief Dr. Ryan Seuss. Welcome, Doctor. Why is sleep so important?
Well, sleep really does affect every aspect of our lives, from our brain health and focus to heart health, our mood, immune system, even our metabolism. So when we don't sleep well, especially over long periods, our bodies and our brain can feel drained and irritable. Many people gain weight, and we're more susceptible to diseases.
What is sleep apnea?
Well, in its simplest form, sleep apnea is a repetitive narrowing and blockage of the tissues of the throat. And this struggle to breathe at night causes a light, choppy, poor quality sleep, drops in oxygen levels, and big stressors on the body.
How are lives affected by sleep apnea?
Well, what's amazing is that sleep apnea affects so many different people in so many different ways. There's no one symptom for everyone. Loud, disruptive snoring affects marriages and relationships. For others, waking up through the night or waking up with a headache is the biggest problem. And yet for others, the tiredness during the day makes it very hard to drive safely or to focus at work or even just enjoy their day-to-day activities.
Sure. So how is sleep apnea commonly treated?
Well, CPAP is the most commonly used and effective treatment for many people. It simply uses an air pressure machine to keep the throat open at night. There are now newer mask types, smaller, quieter machines, and better features that can really make a big difference in the success